All right, it looks like we are back live. Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway, and I am so excited to be here with y'all today. Today we're going to do a quick Juneteenth author portal, a Juneteenth author train. We're going to do a Juneteenth author update, okay? And before I get into the details for each author, I want to give an overview of what we're doing in case you have not been part of the process, or this is new to you, or you didn't know that you could still have time to tell your story and share your voice. You know, a lot of us, we have a story, we have a voice, we have a story to tell. We just need a platform. We need somebody to open up the access and give us access to people who could be helped and inspired by our stories. And that's what our Juneteenth Legacy Voices of Legacy anthology will do for you. Okay. So you are invited to our 7th annual conference. I'm so excited about this conference. It will be in Fort Worth, Texas, as well as online via the software called Zoom, which many of us are familiar with. It's going to be a Wednesday through Friday experience, and we have a schedule I'll tell you about here just in a second. But if you look at my slide that I've got for you, we are starting off with something we've never done before. We are participating in the historic Walk with Opal Lee. That's going to be 9 o'clock that morning of Juneteenth. She is the grandmother of Juneteenth and is the main ringleader of the advocacy effort to make Juneteenth a holiday. Okay. And so Dr. George Fraser will give our opening keynote at 11 o'clock that day. We're also going to have keynotes from Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm going to get a chance to interview y'all. I'm going to get to interview Brother Bedford. I'm so excited, y'all. It's going to be a fabulous event. There's vending opportunities. And then Friday, those of us, it's an optional event. We're going to go to a cattle run. We're going to include some of the events from the National Freedom Vibes Festival. The Freedom Vibes Festival, this is the very first one. It is hosted by the National Juneteenth Museum, which I had hoped was going to open by the time this year's Juneteenth came, but I didn't even know there was going to be a Juneteenth museum. Look, y'all, when we picked Fort Worth for 2025, the reason I picked Fort Worth years ago to be 2025, I had no idea that Juneteenth was going to become a holiday. I had no idea the history behind Fort Worth. All I knew is that by 2025, I should be retired from the Air Force, and this was the closest venue close to my husband. So I knew it was going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because regardless of what happened with my military career, I was going to hit higher tenure in 2024. And so by the time 2025 rolled around, I was going to be retired and want to have the conference somewhere close. Had no idea that Miss Opal Lee was going to advocate and create help our nation create Juneteenth as a holiday. Had no idea they were going to launch this National Juneteenth Museum. Had no idea about Opal Lee's farm or any of these other historic things that we're going to get a chance to participate in as a part of this year's Juneteenth. This is a Juneteenth legacy conference unlike any other. It's our 7th annual, and I'm so excited, and I hope that you will join me either in the room or on the Zoom. Okay. And so that's what we will be doing. And what we're going to talk about right now is one aspect of this conference, and that is our Voices of Legacy anthology. Okay. This is our Voices of Legacy anthology. If you already know you want to be a part of this anthology, you can go out to juneteenthauthor.com. We have different levels of participation, including no cost. Okay. But before I explain those to you, I want you to understand why this conference is so important to me. Racial wealth inequality in the U.S. is rampant. And I understand that some people feel like, well, if you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you should be able to make something of your life. And they have no idea how difficult it can be for people of color, especially women in this nation, to really build themselves up as far as wealth and as far as property and as far as success. Now, Do I want to say it? Do I want to say it? Do I want to say it? Yes, I'm going to say it, because hopefully everybody who doesn't want to hear about Juneteenth is already off of my channel right now. But there is a very real effort to prevent people who look like me from being prosperous. And I thought that people were just good-natured people who didn't realize what they're doing. Well, I still think some people are good-natured people, but they know exactly what they're doing. They may not like it, but they are going to toe the societal line. And if that means preventing people who look like me from getting ahead, they are going to prevent people who look like me from getting ahead. So what does that mean to me? Oh, what? Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that I'm making it all about race? Oh, are you trying to tell me stop making excuses? Well, are you trying to tell me just do my hair, pull up my pants, be to work on time, and pull myself up by bootstraps? Let me tell you something. In most of my military career, people did not know I was Black unless I told them. So don't even come at me with that, because I heard what you said when you didn't know I was Black. And you are never going to make me think that most people don't know the shenanigans and the games that are played against people of color in this nation. So if that's your stance today, you can move on along, and you can join me on my walking video in the morning when I talk about all my faults and frailties and all my silliness. You can join me for that. This is not your space then. And I'm not going to be embarrassed about it. Now, there was a time, I'm gonna admit, okay. Some of you are like, please don't go on a rant, but some of you are like, yes, she's going on a rant. When I first moved to rural Texas and people kept trying to make me white, like I would put Black on my paperwork, and I would see my paperwork again, and it would be white. And I would go to the doctor, and the paperwork would say white, and I'm like, I'm not white, I'm Black. And after a while, I was advised to stop trying to change it, because clearly somebody's trying to help you out. This is literally what was told to me. And I thought, okay, this is unlike anywhere else that I've ever lived. I did not realize it was that big of a deal, right? And so I decided, for the safety of my children and my husband, I was not going to play up Blackness. I wasn't going to deny who I am, because y'all know I'm who I am, right? But I wasn't going to be as in your face about it as I might have become, let's say, when I lived in Shreveport, right after the days of George Floyd, when I was on the mayor's commission for race and diversity, and when I was doing all these things, right? So I thought, okay, I'm just going to tone it. I'm going to tone it down a little. I'm going to play nice with people. But I'm sick and tired of my son crying every night because the boys want to call him Snickers without the S. I'm tired of all the issues of trying to find this and trying to find that. And when I talk to people, whether they're Black or brown, and those ladies can't get ahead either because everybody wants to charge them 3 times the rent. I thought that was just a Black person thing. No, that's a Hispanic woman problem too. And it's ridiculous. Okay. And I love my school district that my son is in, that my husband works for. They do a really great job. It was the first time out of all the schools that my oldest son has been to. His 8th school that he graduated from was the first time that I wasn't fighting with the principal to allow him to be there. Every other opportunity that my oldest had, it was like fighting tooth and nail, because they did not want that Black boy in their class. And where I live now, the only reason he wasn't in those classes that he could have been in is because he took himself out, not the principal. So I have much love in that respect for the school district. But as the parent of a child who is already seeing those scars, who is already developing that scar tissue, and honestly, if people didn't know his mother was Black, he could probably pass for a lot of other things. Ooh, I'm not allowed to say that anymore. My friend said I can't use that phrase anymore, but y'all know that's exactly what it is. All right. So don't come at me with that. In this economic time, it is becoming increasingly harder for people of color to do what they were supposed to do. And in fact, with this Juneteenth conference, our original venue, I'm going to talk more about this when it comes to the speakers, but with our original venue was government sponsored. So I wasn't going to have to pay for the venue. So we weren't going to have a cost share with the speakers this year, because we weren't going to have to pay for the venue. I mean, I'm trying to make money, yes, but I'm more importantly trying to have the conversations. And the conversation was more important to me than putting money in my pocket. Because I consider this my give back. Or as I like to say sometimes, this is my give black. All right. So I was so excited. And then the administration came in and they cut this and they cut that. And the big sponsors fell out and the big sponsors backed out. And I was just like, what are we going to do? And the Lord opened up some fabulous pathways, and we are going to have a fabulous conference. We're going to have a fabulous conference, and I'm super thrilled about it. But let me tell you something. It is so important now that we have these conversations. And with Juneteenth, the conversations are not going to be public this year. Usually we do a public broadcast. We're not going to do a public broadcast. Now, if we have more speakers than we have capacity for just the one day, we'll still do the 3 days of broadcast like we normally do, but it won't be public. You want to come in, you want to come into our safe space, you're going to have to pay. And guess what? They ain't going to pay. All right. So here we go. Here's why this is so important to me. Our wealth inequality is still rampant in the United States. And guess what? Nobody is going to take care of us like we take care of us. Okay. Conway Financial Group, you can see that I have a passion. You can hear it in my voice. You could see it in my face when I had the slide on me. We have passion for helping all people, especially people that look like those of us who work in this company, which are Black and brown people. We have passion for helping people succeed and providing the success formulas, the tools, the step-by-step instructions to teach our audience how to be wealthy. And I have found that so many of the times that we go to these places to be taught how to be wealthy, the only people getting wealthy are the people at the front of the room who are telling us that they can sell us this package or sell us this insurance or sell us this thing that's going to make us wealthy. But the only person getting wealthy is the person in the front of the room. And that ought not be. There's enough wealth out there that we can all prosper, we can all work together, and we can all up level our lives. We can change the finances of our generational trees. We can make a difference for our future generations, and we can do it together, what we haven't been able to do for so long. Dr. George Fraser, our opening keynote for this year, he said that African American consumers spend up to $1 trillion a year. It's probably more now. He said this a couple years ago. We have to unlock the economic and entrepreneurial power of Black America. I never realized how powerful this statement was until I did a podcast on the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Y'all remember the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Remember how people were going crazy, paying up to $100 to get one of them things delivered? I was living in the Shreveport area at the time. I was on the mayor's commission for race and diversity at that time. I did an analysis of our Black high schools in Shreveport and how many students we had. And I compared how much it would take for those students to go to college or trade school. I used average numbers from average populations of how many would go to college and how many would go to trade school if they had the funding. And I calculated out for every one of them. I put every one of those students in a bin. They're either going to college or they're going to trade school. And for the cost of one Popeyes chicken sandwich, for every Black person in Shreveport, Louisiana, we could have sent, oh, I hate the fact that I just messed that up. Let me say that again. For the cost of one Popeyes chicken sandwich, for every single Black adult in Shreveport, Louisiana, we could have sent every one of those children to college or trade school, a college at a state school or trade school right there in Shreveport. Every single one of those graduating high school seniors from the 4 Black at that time Shreveport high schools could have gone to college or trade school if every Black adult in Shreveport I'm not even asking everybody else. I'm not asking the people from India. I'm not asking the people from Mexico. I'm not asking the people from Japan. I'm saying if you are Black, if you are African American, one Popeye's chicken sandwich per person. Invest that, and you could, off of the proceeds, y'all. In economic terms, they call the amount you invest the corpus, and the rest of it is your earnings or your interest that you get from that. You wouldn't even have to touch the original amount, and you could send all of those kids to college or trade school. I did that analysis. I did that financial analysis. I did those calculations based on the population of the city of Shreveport. And do you know what that nation's leaders said to me when I asked them how come they weren't forwarding my podcast? Didn't you like my podcast? Or didn't you see my podcast? Didn't you like that analysis? Over and over and over again, I was told, no, we don't want the people to see this. We don't want the people to think they have an opportunity to band together and make a change. Broke my heart. Because for too long, the African American community, the Black community, the BIPOC community, whatever it is we're calling ourselves these days, has been fractured. And we spend more time arguing about what we're going to call ourselves than coming together and lifting each other up. And I really thought, y'all, I thought that by the time my big boy left the house, my young man left the house, I really thought that the world was going to change. Because I don't know about y'all, but when I was young, we marched and we signed petitions to free Mandela. That's what we did when I was in high school. And white people and Black people linked arms together about ending apartheid. And guess what? He was freed. And guess what? He became the leader of South Africa. And we did a thing in our teens. We were part of a movement. And I would have thought that this being my 50th, this being the month I turned 50, I really thought that my young man who's off on his own now wasn't going to have to deal with all of this. But yet the landscape for people of color who want to build wealth in this country is worse than it has ever been in my lifetime. All of that fighting Jim Crow that our parents did, all of that tearing down, all that marching in Selma, all this, and all this, that, was to give me a better opportunity, was to give you a better opportunity. I don't know how old who's watching me is, but for most of us, we are the recipients of their labor, their marching, their effort. And here we are in a world that's trying to strip so much of that away. And then you peel back the curtain and you realize we never really had a whole lot of it to begin with. We were placated with handouts and other things that were supposed to help us, but somehow destroyed our families. We had all these, we bought into this war on drugs that really turned into pipeline to prison system. I could go on and on and on, but if I do, I'll never finish the author update. You can tell that this is real to me. And if it's real to you, I'm asking you to be a part of helping me make this conference the most powerful, the most impactful, the most effective thing it has ever been to up-level the lives of African Americans, of Black Americans, of BIPOC in this era. We need you. I can't do it on my own. I've got the platform, but I need your voice. I've got the anthology, but I need your writing. I've got the space, but I need your presence. I need your energy. I need your care. I need that you want to be a part of something bigger so that, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, my grandchildren, your grandchildren have a better world than what we have. I'm going to get back to my slides now. So this event is designed to educate, because some of the things that I just told you, people my age, we get it. People older than me, they fought for it, so they definitely get it. But I have found, and honestly, when I was younger, I didn't understand either. But I have found that the younger generations don't always understand it. So part of this is educating. See, what happens to a lot of us is we think that we just aren't working hard enough, or we're just not good enough, or we're just this, or we're just that. No, it's systemic. So we have to be educated about what's going on so we can recognize what's going on. And then once we are educated about what's going on, we need to really talk about the real solutions. And some of those solutions are unsavory. Like, I'll never forget when my first business coach told me to take my picture off my website. He said, people don't want financial wisdom from a young Black woman. They want it from an old white guy. And I was mad. I was so mad. But I took my picture off my website and my conversion went up 400%. Now, I hope that everybody doesn't have to do that, right? But there are very real solutions and ways to get around some of these biases in our culture. And nobody's going to just broadcast online because we don't want to get canceled. We don't want to get shut down. We don't want to get hit with fines and other issues. So you want to be in this space to have real talk about real issues. And then the other key component of this conference, the other key goal of this conference is the networking, for us to work together and to bring together. And I really do look at this conference as kind of like a precursor to Dr. Boyce Watkins' All Black National Conference and Dr. Fraser's and Delano Johnson's Power Networking Conference. Okay. Power Networking Conference is one of Forbes' top 5 networking conferences of all time that you need to be at. And it's amazing to see the amount of high-powered people, millionaires and billionaires, who are just waiting to pour into deserving people who are willing to reach up for it, you know? So this conference, our Juneteenth Legacy, is a really great foundation for attending these other more established conferences, and you want to be there. You want to be a part of it. So that said, let me tell you what we're looking for in our authors. Okay. You've heard my heart. You've probably seen that people are fearful more than ever right now. And I'm not meaning more than ever like before I was born, but in my lifetime, people are more fearful than I have ever seen as an adult. And so what I'm looking for is authors and speakers to help give them hope and also give them strategies for their success. Okay. Yes, we're going to vent a little bit. We're absolutely going to vent, but this is not a vent session. We're not going to get it all out and then go home and feel better because we got it all out. We're going to get it all out, but then we're going to do something about it. That's what we're going to do at Juneteenth Legacy. That's what we've been doing for the last 6 years. And this 7th year is not. This 7th year will be no different. In fact, this 7th year, I think, is going to be the most powerful yet. You have got to be there. Our headliners this year, our headliners are Dr. George Fraser, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and Brother Bedford. Of course, your girl, JJ Conway, is going to be there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited, okay? We've had a lot of great speakers over the years. This is just a small sampling. Usually we have a Usually we have a public broadcast. And so in addition to whoever speaks on stage, we usually have anywhere from 40 to 50. One year we had 75 additional speakers broadcasting day in and day out throughout the conference all over the world. This year, again, we're not going to do the public broadcast, but we are going to fit as many speakers as we can fit in the schedule. So we are looking for people who can give hope, and we are specifically looking for these 9 topics. These are the 9 topics that we cover in Juneteenth Legacy. We talk about the corporate plantation of Black entertainment. We talk about the crisis of Black education, the Black church under attack, overcoming disparities in healthcare, building a legacy after lockup, legacy investing during turbulent times, the financial impact of Black relationships, y'all, post-traumatic slave syndrome. And and building legacy businesses. If you have a topic to speak on, or if you have any advocacy, or if you are a leader in any area aligned with these 9 topics, then we encourage you to speak at the conference or be an author in our anthology. Okay. We also have on Friday, the main conference is Thursday, and we have events Wednesday. We have enriching events, community events Wednesday. We have a welcome gala, not gala. We have a welcome VIP reception Wednesday night. And then Friday morning, we always end the conference with our Black Veterans Brunch. So I want to thank my veterans out there for their service. And one of the things we do at our Black Veterans Brunch is to teach how to leverage your military service. So you have military service, but sometimes it can be difficult to leverage that into something that you really can profit from once you are no longer in military service. But notice this bottom section over here, not bottom, I guess it's kind of in the middle. We have also, evidence has come to light that there has been decades of discrimination and denied benefits for our Black military veterans. That is a systemic problem across all military services. I don't know about the Space Force, but all the other ones that were out when this research came, that there has been a systemic problem of discriminating against, false disciplinary action, or other behaviors designed to keep you from getting the benefits that you worked so hard for in your service to our nation. And so we are going to talk about those issues, and we are going to talk about what you can do. So we're going to talk about those issues, and we're going to talk about what you can do if you have been denied benefits that you should have. You want to be a part of the Black Veterans Brunch, and we are going to try to do a Zoom on this one, but I'm telling you right now, this session never gets recorded, and this session is always one of the most powerful in the room, because it is so sad to me and angering to me and to others who come in to serve our veterans that they have been denied their benefits in these manners. And so if you have a veterans advocacy group, I encourage you to come speak on Friday. Or if you have a experience that can help veterans get the benefits that they deserve, or help them cope with the lifetime of abuse and mistreatment they had in the military, you need to come and be a part of our Black Veterans Brunch on Friday. Okay. So now we also will take author submissions for this topic as well, although very few people I have found want to write about that as much as some of the other topics, but we will still absolutely have you in the book. Okay. So now let's actually talk about the book. That was the overview of the conference. Now we're going to talk about the book, The Voices of Legacy, our 2025 anthology. And this is not the cover, y'all. This is my mock-up so that I could last year, so I could sell people into the book. Okay. So this is not the cover. We will have somebody professional design the cover based on the main themes of who ends up being in the book. Okay. But just so you know, there are 4 ways to tell your story as part of the Voices of Legacy 2025. The first way is to submit a quick story. Now, notice that the quick story here is free. You don't have to pay to submit a quick story. Okay. So, why does that say speaker match? I'm trying to drop it in the chat for you, but for some reason it's dropping the speaker match. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. Nope, that's not working. Let's just delete it. And let's see if we can use a text thingy. I want to put in the link so you can go to it. It's basically a Google form. You put your stuff in the Google form, and you let me know if you want it to be anonymous or if you want us to attribute you. And boom, you're in it. All right, let's go back to, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I probably posted it wrong. Okay, copy responder list. Let's go ahead and shorten that URL from Google. Let's try it one more time on StreamYard before I go through crazy accesses. Okay, there we go. All right, now that's starting to work. Okay, let me get it. Tell your story. Click tell your story for free. Now, let me put that in there so you guys will have it. All right. Okay, and this is part of our Voices of Legacy. All right. So you can click this link and you can submit a quick story. There's no charge to submit this story, and you can choose whether or not you want to be anonymous. So if you've been wanting to tell people about your experience in relation to systemic bias and racism in your career, in other areas of your life that impact your financial livelihood, in your military service, you can go and submit a quick story, anonymous or not. Okay. And the only limitation we're telling you is please keep it under 200 words, and then we won't charge you. Okay. And you can go out to that form that I just put out there. And just go out there to that form. That's a crazy gobbledygook link. So if you are listening to me as part of the podcast and you're only listening audio, please go out to the YouTube channel, the Juneteenth Legacy Summit YouTube channel, and you can click the actual link that is listed here on the screen. Okay. Because I'm not even going to try to read that. The next way that you can participate in our anthology is by submitting a chapter. Now, I'm going to admit I understand that the time is rapidly approaching. The deadline is rapidly approaching. The deadline is rapidly approaching. I understand. I'll say it one more time. I understand that the deadline is rapidly approaching. And you may not feel comfortable submitting a chapter. If you have something important to say it anyway. Let me just, if I could, if you have something important, a story that's important to tell, and you want to tell it, but you feel like I don't have time to make it perfect, don't worry about making it perfect. Get your thoughts out on paper. And you think, oh, I don't have the ability to write that fast. Take your phone, record into it, upload it to Otter. You can even send me the file if you're one of these paid authors, and I will edit it for you just to get your story in the book, because I want to make sure that your story is told. Okay. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. And I hope that you are willing to share your story with us for our Juneteenth Legacy Anthology. If you decide that you want to submit a chapter, you can go to the link Juneteenth Author. Oops. JuneteenthAuthor.com. Hopefully I spelled that right, spelling in public. You can go to JuneteenthAuthor.com, okay? And you can select this package. Now, nope, actually, I don't need a now on the end of that. I can just end it there. Okay. Our next one, oh, y'all, I love this. I love this. Very few anthologies that I participate in have ever done this. But once I had it done one time, I was sold. And so I offer this on all of my anthologies, okay? If you submit your chapter, again, the chapters are up to 2,000 words. Yours doesn't have to be 2,000 words, okay? Your chapter doesn't have to be 2,000 words. It doesn't have to be 1999 words. It doesn't even have to be 1,000 words. It doesn't have to be 500 words. It has to be whatever it is you want to share with us, but no more than 2,000 words, okay? But if you want to take your career, your speaking career, and your writing career to the next level, then what you're going to want is you're going to want to be listed as an Amazon contributing author. I'm going to show you a screenshot of what that looks like later. But for now, I will explain it as when people search your name on Amazon, if you are listed as a contributing author, this book shows up. And when people search for this book and they will see the list of authors, they can click your name. Talk about increasing your credibility, y'all. It's an amazing, amazing upgrade that very few offer, and I'm so honored to be able to offer it to you. Now, this one is my most favorite, okay? And I kind of stumbled. Let me tell you this story, all right? I stumbled into my very first. I'm gonna show you an example in a little bit, but I just want to tell you this story real quick. I stumbled into my very first book where I was listed as a co-author when I still am working with a particular speaking organization that offers anthologies. And I thought, man, this price is really, really high. But you know what? This is the next step for me, and I'm going to take it, and I can afford it, and I'm going to go for it. And I had no idea until the books came back that one of the reasons the price was so high was because each of us received a version with our name on the front as a co-author with the main editor. Some of you have not had this experience yet, but some of you know exactly what I'm about to say. You have gone to a conference and you have brought your latest book that's an anthology. And while you're trying to sell your latest book that's an anthology, another speaker or another author is there and they have the same exact book. And I like to collaborate. So when I see that, I like to try to put something together where we can all sign the books, right? But a lot of people don't do that. And so now you've got a book that's the same as somebody else's book. No. That's great for a start. That's better than nothing. We operate on a good, better, best model. Good, tell your story for free, especially if you want to be anonymous, all right? Now, you can be anonymous in the other packages, too. You can be anonymous in the chapter package. Just give me a pen name or give me no name or give me no contact information, right? But better is to be that Amazon contributing author, and best is to have a print run with your name on the front as a co-author with me. Okay. So if you think to yourself, well, I can't do that. I really don't know if I can write something down. I don't know if I can be a speaker. I don't know if I can be an author. It just seems so overwhelming and so daunting. Look, let me tell you, in previous years, we would have had a run up with all kinds of training for you. And what we can offer right now is we have a training portal because we're so close to the deadline. We have a training portal you can go through. But I'm going to tell you, all you really need to do is speak from your heart and either transcribe it or type it up. And I promise you it will be effective. I promise you, you will make more of an impact than you ever dreamed possible just by sharing your story in our anthology. When you go to JuneteenthAuthor.com, you're going to see the course that I showed you. You're going to see this page, and you scroll down, you'll see the course curriculum that I have here. You notice that I circled to show you the very first link is a free preview. That means you don't have to buy an author support package in order to give your quick story or watch any of these things, okay? So you click that free preview and you go to the link to submit your quick story. Now, if you are watching me or you are watching this on YouTube, the link should be in the comments. If you're listening as part of the podcast, I hope the link is in the comments. I hope I remember to put it in the comments. You know what? If I don't, count it to my head, not my heart. Okay. But you go to JuneteenthAuthor.com, you scroll down. The very first part of the course curriculum is how to submit your free quick story. Okay. We also have information on how to become a speaker. We have some optional activities that you might want to participate that don't come with the author package, but might be very phenomenal for you. And then we also have your tickets. How do you get tickets? Okay. So we have your link to the tickets, which you can find at juneteenthlegacy.com. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is an expansion of the author checklist. You'll notice you'll notice beneath the author checklist, we've got training for authors and training for speakers. Okay. I will willingly admit to you that most of our training at this point is for the speakers. That's why I'm encouraging you to either use the technique that I mentioned, or what you can do is book time with me and I can interview you and transcribe it. That's how we did for a lot of our very first anthology that we had. We transcribed the interviews and they were powerful. Okay. Y'all really can't see that, can you? Because I certainly can't see that. Oh my, let's see if I can make that bigger. Okay. What you'll find in the author checklist, the very first one is a before I submit checklist. It's going to go into, do you have your title? Do you have your bio? Do you have this? Do you end your story on a high note? It gives you a step-by-step list of things to think about and analyze what you've written by to make sure that it is the most effective. And then we go through and we step through day by day the deadlines. By 15 May, get any upgrades you want to get. By 18 May, submit your chapter. By 31 May, send me anything you want in the booklet. And also arriving by 31 May, send me your swag. If you want to send anything in the physical swag bags for the people who are in Fort Worth, or the swag boxes for our virtual people that might want to ship a box to them. At the very least, my intention is that every person will get a box, will get the Juneteenth Legacy Anthology. All right. Just with the timelines, they may not get the book before the conference, okay? Because I think we may end up launching the week of the conference, okay? We've got opportunities for you to join on social media, and then we've got opportunities for you to schedule your pre or post-conference VIP class. Let me explain what that is a little bit. So with our conference, one of the things that I know will help our speakers and authors most succeed is building rapport with the audience before we even get to the conference. And to that end, I have created a pathway that will allow you as an author or a speaker, a paid author or speaker, to be able to come in and teach a special session to the audience before or after the conference. This is a great way to build rapport with them, and they can get to know you a little better and be more poised to buy your products at the event. It can also be a way of you pouring into them so that they are already begun to elevate in their energy before they attend the event. It's a win-win, y'all. Y'all know I love the win-win-win. All right. So now some of the other training that we have in here, again, most of this training is related to speakers, but it applies also to our authors. That's why we left it in the author portal. Okay. One of the trainings you're going to get is guidelines for virtual speaking. If you decide to be a speaker because your book is phenomenal, then you can use that. But do you want to know where else you're going to use that? You're going to use that in our author showcase. So you might feel comfortable putting together your chapter, but then when it comes to being part of our author showcase, maybe you're a little apprehensive. Well, we've got the training for you. We've got the training for you so that you can do a great job and knock it out of the park during our author showcase. Okay. Then we also have some phenomenal training from Dr. Cheryl Wood about the different things that lead to your success as a speaker. And I have found that these things also apply to us as authors. And that's why we have her training in there. Okay. Let's see. The next thing you're going to find in there, you're going to get the links to submit your stuff. You're going to get your training, and you're going to get the opportunity to add a talk. Okay. Another thing that you're going to get by being in here is you're going to get opportunities to be part of other challenges. Okay. So one of the things that we will do as part of the author showcase is we will allow each of you to tell about your chapter, tell about your story, tell about your business. And from that, we extract ads and shorts that you can use in your own marketing, but that we also market in our events. Okay. And we take the content from some events and we re-wicker it into other events. Okay. So this Wealthy You in 22. This was one where we had a conference and we took everybody's content from the Women Building Wealth Together conference. And unless they wanted to update it, we used the exact same content for the Wealthy You in 22 conference. It was phenomenal. So we often repurpose things. Okay. Another thing you're going to get access to is you're going to get access to being a podcast guest, either before or after the event. Okay. So we have the master classes that you can teach to our Juneteenth legacy audience. We also have the Ladies of Wealth podcast that you can participate in. And we have the Juneteenth Legacy podcast, which is in its founding year, that you can participate in either before or after the event. Okay. And you might say, well, I don't know what to say in a podcast. Take your chapter and read it. Take your chapter and read it. And if you have an enterprising young person, set that reading to some pretty pictures or stock footage off of a website like Pixabay and just send that in. I'm telling you, it'll be more impactful than you ever thought possible. We had a training earlier today about getting out of our comfort zone and how a lot of times there's all these things that we could do to further our life, further our business, further our relationships. But what we end up doing is a very small amount of the things that we could do. And we really tend to focus on what other people can do that we can't do. But if we would just do the one thing next that we could do that we feel like is our next best move, it would open up a new expansion of the things that we can do. And the more and more we get outside of our comfort zone, the closer and closer we get to our goal. And so with this topic of being an author and being on the podcasts and all that, if it's a stretch for you, if it's outside of your comfort zone, do it anyway. Do it afraid. As they like to say in the motivational speaking world, jump and build your wings on the way down. You can do this. I know you can do this, or you wouldn't be listening to me right now. You wouldn't have been led to come listen to this podcast or watch this YouTube video or see me on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever it is that you're watching me. It wouldn't even have bubbled up into your awareness. You've got a story to tell, and I hope you'll tell it in our anthology. All right. We did already talk about the VIP swag box. If you have gear you want to put in, you can. This is 1 year that we did. Shar Halliburton posted she loved her swag box. It had books in it. It had ads. It had a calendar. It had a mug. The swag boxes are basically whatever the speakers and authors send me. So every year they are different. Okay. All right. Also, we're going to have our conference booklet. It is both going to be a digital version for everybody and then a print version for the people who come in person. So everybody who's an author or a speaker will get a mention in the book. But if you want to submit an ad, go ahead and submit your ad, and then we can incorporate that into the book. And if you don't have one, Pam Perry is amazing, and she can create you a fabulous one, and you will want to be a part of that. And then you'll be able to use for all of your other marketing. Okay. In fact, this was my very first Juneteenth magazine with her, the June episode, the June edition. And I still use the spread that she created on me for this when I do other speaking engagements and I need to send something in. So definitely a wonderful resource that you can look to between now and the conference. Okay. I think I talked about these. But I'm going to give you some more details. Okay. And before I give you details on the upgrades, I do want to let you know that this is a cost share thing. Okay. We're not cost sharing the book, but we are cost sharing in the conference. Okay. So if you if you want to participate in the affiliate for the conference, then every time somebody buys a ticket through your link, you get 25% of that price. I'm not gonna dig into this. We'll dig into that more with our next Juneteenth training. But that is an offer to our authors. Okay. We're going to have a book launch party Wednesday, June 18th. It's set at 9 p.m. Eastern time for a couple of reasons. One, we have our welcome VIP reception at Hotel Dries at 6 p.m. and we want time for that to finish. And two, we also want to make it late enough on the East Coast, but not too early for the people on the West Coast. So this is the best time that we've polled those who have participated in the past. This was our best time to be able to accommodate as many people across as many time zones as possible. Okay, so I'm going to answer some of these questions really quick. A lot of times people want to know, can I start off at the low price and upgrade? Well, of course. Can you sell your own copies of the book? Well, of course. Can you sell digital copies of the book? Of course, depending on which package you buy. And can you be an affiliate? Well, we already talked about that. So you know the answer is of course. Okay, so let me just kind of summarize what each package gets. And then we'll talk to you a little bit of training on what to do with your chapter once you get it. Okay. Oh, I need to change that. Hold up. That is incorrect. It was 500 words last year, but it's up to 2,000 words this year. Hold up. Let me fix that, y'all. Let me fix that. This is 2,000 word chapter in Voices of Legacy. Okay. So at the $99 speaker level, remember, we have a free level. I'm not talking about the free level here because you already got the link to that. You can go do that. You don't need any more information from me to go do that. Okay. But for the $99 speakers level, you get, what is this? What is this? It's because the last year's entry level was $49. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So our $99 speakers and authors package. Okay. Why does that say speakers? Y'all, I am so embarrassed, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I don't know why I did whatever I just did, but you know what? We're going to fix it. And the reason, if you wonder why I'm fixing this instead of just letting it go, is because I'm going to put this in the portal. And so because I'm going to put it in the portal, I want it to be correct. Okay. Okay. So as a $99 author in the Voices of Legacy anthology, you get up to a 200-word chapter. Remember, it doesn't have to be that high. It can be as little as you like. You're going to get that chapter in the Voices of Legacy anthology. You're going to get the opportunities to guest on my podcast and other podcasts that we set up our marketing with. You're going to get, if you can upgrade to either of the packages simply by paying the difference later on. Okay, so that's not a problem at all. Okay, now let me tell you about the other packages. The $199 contributing author. This is the same author's package. Oops, go back. Let me take that off. Author package. Plus, you're going to get additional bennies. Okay. So when you are a contributing author or higher, you're going to get more graphics to share with your audience. You're going to get, this is not true. This is actually in the other one. Hold on. What did I do? I don't know what I did, y'all. You know what? I've just messed this all up. We're not doing all of this. Okay. Because that's what we did last year. And it was really confusing for people. So I see what happened. Okay. So let me put this on here. Let me put that there. Edit. And let me make sure that we didn't mess something else here. List build, no sales, affiliate link for tickets. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm so embarrassed, but I'm going to get it done. Because you know what? I keep thinking, oh, that's not right. I can't post it. Oh, that's not right. I can't post it. No, we're going to post it. Because people need to know what they're doing. Okay. All righty. But all of them get affiliate link. All of them get an affiliate link. And, okay. So we got that. Everybody gets affiliate link. Everybody's no sales. But this one, you're going to be listed on Amazon. Okay, so I'll show that on the next page. Let me just check my where's the co-author one? Okay, good. That one's correct. Poof. Praise the Lord. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. Thank you for hanging with me. But I'm going to post this in the portal. And so I want it to be correct. Okay. Normally I would just go, but I just want to make sure that it's correct. Okay. So now, all right, let's try this again, y'all. The $99 author package, you get up to 200 words chapter in the Voices of Legacy anthology. 2,000 word chapter in Voices of Legacy anthology. You don't have to write 2,000 words. It can be 1,000. It can be 500. It can be 250. It's whatever you want, but no more than 2,000 words. Okay. You also get the opportunity to guest on my podcast and any other marketing podcasts that we do. You'll participate in the author showcase on the 18th of June. That is optional. If you can't participate live, you have the option of sending us a video that we can play during the showcase so that everybody sees that you are a part of this project. Everybody's going to get professional editing, professional graphics, and the encoding refers to how we put it on Amazon. That's not really as needed anymore, I don't think, but we are going to remove your hyperlinks. So don't put any hyperlinks in there. Okay. Everybody has the opportunity for an affiliate link for tickets sold to the conference so that you can earn money, real cash money, as a participant in helping us generate attendees for the conference. Okay. Our contributing author, which is $199, is the same as the author package with this really neat feature. Yes, you're going to get additional custom world graphics, but what I'm really excited about with this particular package is you will be listed on Amazon as a contributing author. So let me show you what that looks like a little bit, okay? So here's one. Now we have not done this with Juneteenth. That's why I'm giving you a different book. Okay. We were trying to do this with Juneteenth last year. It was the first time we were going to do this with Juneteenth, but then life happened and we weren't able to do it. So some of the people there opted for refunds. Some of the people opted to get an upgrade, and it worked out beautifully. Okay. We've got some fabulous authors that are going to be part of this anthology, and I hope you'll be one of them. Okay. So we have the $199 contributing author package. What it does is it allows you to be listed. So here I am listed. Here's somebody else's. Here's somebody else's, so on and so forth. Okay. Now this does have a limit. Amazon limits you to 10 contributing authors. Okay. So once we hit that limit, and we're already halfway there. Once we hit that limit, we're done with this package. It closes out. Okay. So this is something I hope you will take advantage of, because it helps increase your credibility when people can go on Amazon and they can see your name and click your name. Okay, so we'll talk about in our future training, we'll talk about how to set up your Amazon profile, your Amazon author profile, and what to do with that. And again, if you're just joining us, this is not the Juneteenth book. This is another book that I did, but we haven't executed this with Juneteenth yet, which is why I'm not showing it to you with the Juneteenth book. Last year was going to be our first year of doing this with Juneteenth's anthology, but it didn't play out the way we intended to. And so this year will be the first year. Okay. And I know some people are like, oh, don't say anything negative, but I'm one of those people that likes the details to be correct. And if I remember you briefed this last year and you're going to act like you've never done it, then I want to know, are you telling the truth or did something happen? So something happened, and we made it up to everybody and gave them all what they needed to feel very, very, very pleased with the transactions. Boy, I just keep not making that any better. Let me just stop, okay? Let me just stop on that, okay? The next one is another one that I'm super excited about. Just like I was telling you that I fell into this anthology and didn't even realize that the high cost was because I was going to get 20 books with my name on them. I thought to myself, why aren't more people doing this? Why aren't more people doing this? And the organization that puts these books, this one that I'm showing you, it's like $6,000 or $7,000 for you to get a special print run with your name on it. And I'm not here just to make money. I'm here to make money while making a difference. I'm here to make money while making an impact. And for me, one of the things that I have been called to do to make impact in your life is creating pathways for you. So now when you go to the conference, if you've got one of these packages, even if somebody else has the same book, they don't have their version with their name on the front. And if they do, then it's still different because you've got one with your name and they've got one with their name. And y'all can be on different sides of the table or however they work it out. But there's a difference. There is an energetic difference. Let me say that again. There is an energetic difference when you go to a conference and you have a book with your name on the front cover and not just a small picture and a barely readable name on the back cover, but your name is on the front cover of that book. There is an energetic difference in how the other speakers treat you, how the other authors treat you, how the conference planners treat you, and most importantly, how people with the money to buy your book treat you. So you want to make sure that you get the co-author package if you do plan on profiting from the in-person sales of your book. It's always one of those disheartening things that when people are signing for an anthology, they're like, but did you edit this book? And I've learned to deflect that. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it used to be so demoralizing. Well, now you don't have to worry about that. Your name will be on the front of the book. You don't have to worry about people saying, oh, I thought you were an author. You know, people don't realize anthology doesn't mean you don't write. I've written 13 books cover to cover, but I like participating in anthologies because it gives me access to new audiences. I get to connect with new authors and new speakers. I love it. Okay. But some people don't esteem. I'm just going to be real with you. Some people don't esteem a book you're selling that's written by somebody else as much as they will esteem a book you're selling with your name on the cover. So if that's important to you, make sure you get in it. Now, this package, actually, we have more availability than we have of the co-author package. I mean, of the what is it called? We actually have more availability of this package than we have of the contributing author package because this one is a separate edition on Kindle, okay, and a separate print run, okay. And what that means for you is if you participate as a basic author or a contributing author on Amazon, you buy the $99 or the $199 package. You are not selling the digital version of this book. And people can't find the version of this book that has your name on a cover on Amazon. They can find the version that I'm going to release as the editor of the book. And all the proceeds from the book are going to fund the conference. So that's very noble, and I hope you'll support it. However, if they click the author page, and even though they click your name on the author page and they go to that book is not it doesn't have your name on the front, and you are not getting the royalties from the sale of that book. However, with this package, you have the opportunity for us to set your version of the book up in your Amazon account so that you can sell it to your audience from your account, and it goes on your author page. Okay. and then it's your book. And on Amazon, when you click it, it has both of us as the author, but it's your book. So it's an entirely separate edition. So when we go into the front matter of the book, you'll see the main book is, 2025 first edition. Okay. Yours is going to be a second edition or a third edition or a fourth edition or however many co-authors we have. Okay. So it is going to be an entirely separate. Now, look, y'all know if you have been wanting to write a book or you've participated in other anthologies, I know the timeline is tight, and I know that you may not have all the details. You may feel a little uncomfortable with jumping out without all the details, but I don't know of anybody out there who is offering this service for less than $10,000. So if you want a special print run of the book with your name on the bottom, on the front cover, and if you want it to be broadcast into your Amazon account where you make the royalties on the print and Kindle version, then you want the $1997 co-author package. Okay? All right. I do want to make sure that everybody knows the main book. I think I just said that, so I don't think I need to keep saying that, but I'll just say it again. The main book as our fundraiser will remain under my account, and the funds raised from the sale of the book go towards making the next Juneteenth better, making it more accessible for young people, being able to offer scholarships for young people who want to attend, that kind of thing. Okay. Once we hit bestseller status, because I'm expecting we will, we'll design a new cover with the gold bestseller seal. And if you are a co-author, that's the version you'll get. Okay. If you are a co-author, you're not going to have your books in your hand before Juneteenth. Why are you not going to have your books in your hand before Juneteenth? Because before Juneteenth, I want to get the bestseller status and then print with your name with the gold seal. Okay. That way you don't have 20 books with, you don't have 10 books of no gold seal and then 10 books with a gold seal. Okay. So we don't want to do that. All right. All right. Let me take a quick drink here, and then we're going to talk about maximizing your chapter. All right. Notice what we've done with the anthology this year. This was a deliberate choice on our part, our committee's part, because of everything that went down last year. And for those of you who don't know, let me just explain. For those of you who don't know, I dragged my feet because I was so consumed with getting my son off to college that I held up the process, and the committee was not able to publish a book. I'll just be real. That's what happened. It was my fault. The buck stops here, right here. My fault. Okay. So we weren't able to publish a book. So that's what happened last year. And so what we did was those who were paid, we gave them upgrades to participate this year. Okay. And so our our prices last year were like, it doesn't matter. Anyway, that's what happened. Well, because of what happened, we realized we need to stop calling this book Juneteenth Legacy, because one of the things our analytics data showed us with the website and the YouTube channel is leading up to Juneteenth. Everybody's searching on Juneteenth. Oh, we care. And right after June 19th, nobody cares anymore. Okay. So we wanted to take it away. It's still the anthology for Juneteenth Legacy, but we moved the name away. Okay. So this was a deliberate choice to extract the book from Juneteenth and give it an evergreen name, which means our marketing efforts for the book can continue all year long. So you can sell this book all year long. You can order your author copies at a very, very low wholesale price. You can sell those books to people directly. You set up author, and we're gonna train you on how to do all that stuff. We're gonna train you on how to find places to do a book signing, how to find places to do author showcases. We're gonna host some. right? Well, we're going to show you how to do that. You can sell the book to people on your website, your Facebook, whatever you have, out of the back of your car, whatever you have, right? You can use that book as credibility to speak on stages, which is one of the biggest reasons most speakers want to have a book, is because it gets them on more stages and it increases their credibility. All right. You can schedule signings and readings that are consistent with the theme of your book. And it's really whatever creative way you can find to get your heart in front of people who may never have thought to buy your book. And then once they hear it, now you can sell more of it. Okay. So I want to encourage you with that, to be creative in your coming and going to try to sell this book. All right. All right. And you know what I didn't put on there is things like podcasts and guesting on people's podcasts or the virtual summits or things like that. So you could absolutely do something like that too. Okay. All right. I mentioned these, but I want you to be able to see it. Okay. These are our author deliverables. I understand that the timeline is coming up short. Some of you might be afraid of that timeline, but I'm telling you right now, you can do what I mentioned and just speak it into your phone, upload it into a transcript software, and send it on over to me. And we, maybe make a few edits, okay? Because, those softwares aren't perfect, and you want to make sure I understand what you were trying to say. Right? But you can do it. That's what I really want you to know, is you can absolutely do it. You don't have to sit in fear or think that it's not going to be a good enough job or that people are going to laugh at you. Nobody's going to laugh at you. We're going to edit it and we're going to bring it all together as one cohesive book, even though it's a collection of other people's stories. And it is going to be gorgeous, and it is going to be a blessing, and you want to be a part of it. All right, I think that's my last real slide. Okay, yep, that's my last slide. I want to thank you for hanging with me for this extra hour of training. If you know that you want to participate in this movement, I encourage you to go to juneteenthauthor.com. If you type in juneteenthauthor.com and it doesn't work, maybe try adding the www or removing it if it's already in there. Whatever one doesn't work for you, try doing the other one, okay? We really, really hope that you will be a part of Juneteenth Legacy 2025 by speaking, by attending, and especially by Oh, I don't know where I cut off. So let me say that again. I want to thank y'all for being here with me as we did our Juneteenth author training. If you know you want to be a part of this movement, go on out to juneteenthauthor.com. You'll find in that space where you can buy any of the packages, as well as the link to the free, where you can submit your story at no charge, and it can be anonymous or not, whatever you choose. Okay. There's so many different ways to participate in this conference. Whether or not you become an author or a speaker, you can absolutely get an affiliate code. Once you've bought your ticket, you can get an affiliate link and start making money by inviting your friends and family to come to the conference as well. There's so many different ways for you to participate and be empowered. I hope that I will see you there, whether you're in the book, in the Zoom, in the room, or all of the above. I'm JJ Conway. Thank you so much for being with me today. Y'all take care and be blessed.